Let me introduce y'all to this YouTube family, showing us the way to get out of debt gradually. My man Josh hold it down in the household, Christine dominating debt with a chokehold. And the kids, they are Grace and Zoe, baby Tennessee, new addition to their story. Debt kicking Sunday, daily vlogging, Dave Ramsey plan gonna have us live large, and every day we'll see part of their lifestyle, how they budget and they keep things wrote down. See them work through the envelope system, no credit cards, only cash going with them. You will see how their family strives to survive with the budget plan, help us understand, and daily vlogs show us how to have fun. When you hear this song, let me hear you say, debt is dumb. Debt is dumb, debt is dumb, debt is dumb. Let me hear you say it louder.
Alright people, it's budget time. So I'm going to do another video on our budget and the envelopes, how I stuff the envelopes, and hopefully can give some more clarification, because it seems like this is a question that comes up all the time, and we want to make it as clear as possible for you guys so you can understand it, help you guys out. So you guys are always asking, what does my budget look like, spreadsheets, so on and so forth. So I went on this morning and I printed out the June's budget and I blew it up like huge, so it's on the pages here so you guys can kind of see it a little bit clearer. So let's break it down here. So this is June's first check. So, and the way I've set everything up, and remember, this is our way of doing it. Everybody's going to be a little different, and it's taken us 5 years to get this as accurate as it is. So it's not going to be this accurate the first time for some people that are starting. And also we're down for, we're on baby step 3, so you might not have as many things as we have because you're doing your debt snowball or you're doing your emergency fund. So it's just time. It takes time to get further down the road on this, guys, okay? So this is just what we do. So we've got June's first check. And so this is the bills and envelopes I would pay out of the check that I get first in June, and that could be anywhere between the 1st and the 15th of the month. So obviously I've got the mortgage. I pay the mortgage because it's due on the 15th. So that always comes out of the first check. And then I've got all these highlighted items. These are all of our envelopes that we fill. So you guys wanted to know how I do this. So we have the date night, we have Mama's blow money, sick money, the kids' FPU for their commissions, our Christmas money, our local fair here in town in the summer, birthdays throughout the year, school clothes, school supplies, pumpkin patch. It's kind of a big thing here because we're in an area that it's almost like a fair. When you go to get your pumpkin, we have all these big farms that put on, kiddie rides, and it's just big. I don't know how else to explain it. So then we have our yard, school pictures, family night, and then these 3 here, well actually these are ones that are just temporaries, the van tires, vehicle registration, and then church man camp for me in the summertime. So this is what our budget would look like for the first check of June. So I would pay the mortgage, and I do that electronically. I don't write a check or anything, I pay that electronically. And the rest of these have a dollar value that we have figured out that works well for us to get us what we need throughout the year. And so I take that dollar value, I write it down obviously on my budget, and then I add all that up at the bottom, and then I take it and I write it down on a post-it note, which is what I kind of did here, and I break it down. Because like the yard, I only put $15 a month in the yard. So when I do the yard, I want a 10 and a 5 back for $15. You guys can do it any way you want. You can do 1s, you can do 5s, you can do 10. You can do it. Everybody's going to be different here. But I will write down all of these, the money value and how I want the money back. And then I go to the bank and I tell the cashier, hey, I need X amount of dollars back, and I want so many 50s, I want so many 20s, so many 10s, so many 5s, so many 1s. And then I come back, and then here's our envelopes that I just dug out. And so I go through each envelopes, I look for the highlighted item like the pumpkin patch, or like here's the van tires, and then I go through off my post-it note of how many 20s, 1s, or 5s or whatever, and then I put that in my van tires, and that envelope gets put away for the month. Same thing, you just go down the line, here's the yard, school supplies, pumpkin patch, vehicle registration, school pictures, family clothes, birthday money. See, date night. We have them all here. They match up to what I have on the budget. And so I just go through and fill them up. So this is the first check of the month. Okay, so I do my mortgage and then all of our envelopes. And the envelopes can not necessarily be all sync funds like the van tires, the vehicle registration, the church camp, school pictures, pumpkin patch, school supplies, school clothes, birthday. Some of these are sync funds because we are saving them throughout the whole year. And then some are big purchases like the van tires. They're going to be between $700 and $800, and I can't just whip out $700 or $800 out of the emergency fund. So we broke it up throughout the whole year, and we're just putting a little bit of money aside until we get there. But this is what we mean by when we say sync funds, guys. Like the van tires, we knew that they were coming. We waited till about a year before we figured they need to be replaced. And so for 12 months, I took whatever it was, $800 or $700, divided it up, and I figured, hey, that's the amount of money I need to take out of here and put it in an envelope. So when that time comes to get the tires, my envelope will be full, and I just go in and pay cash. And it didn't hurt us. We didn't have to, it's not an emergency. So that's what hopefully that's a little bit better explanation there. And so the second check of the month, I have only 3 envelopes. I've got the tithe envelope, the weekly envelope, and the blow envelope, which is Christine's blow money. So the tithe, obviously on top, you see how it's on top because that's the first thing that comes off. And the weekly, that is our grocery money and Christine's gas money. So those will go over here into the food and gas, and that's because we do it every 2 weeks. So there's 2 weeks of food and gas money in this one, and there's 2 weeks of food and gas money in this one. And the tithe, obviously, it just goes in the tithe envelope and it gets set aside because it's an important one. And then the rest of these, the below money is, self-explanatory. The rest of these, so we've got cell, auto insurance, power bill, water bill, satellite, life insurance, gas, internet, missions, garbage, Weight Watchers for Josh, Weight Watchers for Christine, security, web hosting, and Netflix. And all of those that are not highlighted, to just the black ones, most of those I've got, you can see that it says debit. That means those are the ones that say debit are auto debited. So that means on the 22nd, the 25th, the 15th, and 22nd, it automatically gets debited. And then the rest of these, the 30th, 29th, these are when they're due. I write when they're due on there, and I will go into the bank and I will just do an electronic transfer. I don't write checks anymore. All of these they will accept electronic transfers, so that way there's no getting lost in the mail or anything like that. And so that's what our budget looks like. And again, we're farther down the road than some people, so that you guys may look at this and be like, oh, they have a lot of things they don't need. Well, this is where our budget is, and this is where we are now. When we started this on baby step 1 and baby step 2, I would say all of these highlighted envelopes, they're not on there. All we could do was pay the mortgage at that time because we had so much debt. We had to put all of our money towards debt. Over here, there's a lot of things we didn't have on there. We didn't have internet. We didn't have missions. We didn't have Weight Watchers. We didn't have the security. We didn't have the web hosting. We didn't have the Netflix. So realistically, these lists were very tiny. This second part of the month, it only had maybe 5 or 6 items on there. And the first part of the month, it only had just the mortgage. Plus, it all depends on your income, on how your checks fall and whatnot. I have set this up. This is the way our checks fall. A lot of our utilities, like the power bill and the water bill, satellite and stuff like that, over the years, I've called them and asked them, hey, can you move my due date from this part of the month to that part of the month because it works better for my pay periods? And they said, sure, absolutely, not a problem. So basically how it works is the first check pays for the mortgage and all of our envelopes. The second check pays for our grocery money and our tithe and everything, and then the rest of the bills. So we've got it pretty tightened up. It works really well for us. And so what I do is it all adds up. It adds up at the bottom, and then I enter my check amount, whatever my check comes for the month, and then it'll tell me, I can't remember what these two are. Anyway, here's the total of bills. This is what my check is, and then I think this is the green ends up being what's left over, and in this right here, this bottom one cell tells me how much I can apply to my baby steps. So if I was on baby step 1, it'd be towards my $1,000. If it was baby step 2, this would be the money left at the end of the month after the pay period I could apply to baby step 2, the debt snowball. Or like right now, whatever's left on both of these, we apply towards baby step 3, which is our 3 to 6 months. And then after we get our 3 to 6 months, one of these categories then is going to change. It's going to be probably on the right underneath tithe. It's going to be investing. And then I will put a number over here, and that will be our 15% investing, which means these two numbers right here, that one and that one are probably going to go down dramatically because we're going to be putting all that money towards investing. Then obviously once we meet our investing, whatever was left would be going on to the next step, and so on and so forth. So hopefully that's it helps you guys out. I'm sure there's going to be lots and lots of questions, and that's cool. Go ahead and send the questions to us, and we will try to get them answered the best we can, and hopefully we can get this worked out to where it's really clear for you guys, and it helps you out. So like I said, let us know, thumbs up, and then if we get a good response or whatever, one of these videos sooner or later will make it into the budgeting tab on our website. So let us know. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.